Mary Costello here, wanting to speak some gorgeous things into the consciousness, some corrections into the consciousness. I've chosen to record today instead of going live, sharing this. Please share if this feels clarifying. Starting off with my rose, the center of the rainbow gathering, the center of this return to innocence is the pattern of the rose. This is the highest order of the mother's love, the pattern of the order of the highest love, and the origin of the crystal spiral. The origin of the crystal spiral being the spiral of regeneration, the spiral of eternal life, the spiral of the angelic human, right? So we are returning into this togetherness. We're returning to the rose pattern, the cohesive, ever expanding, infinite rose pattern of togetherness, of the one breath. This is underway, and in this is the breath of compassion. This is the breath of equanimity, of pure balance. So everything is finding its balance. Everything is coming to balance. This is the breath of freedom. This is the breath, the pattern without contraction. This is the pattern of the beginning of creation without contraction. So coming back to this is allowing all intentions, all vibrations to be brought to light. Everything is being brought to light. This is a directive of living light and living sound. So this is underway. There's nothing in the way of it. This is beautiful news. This is a beautiful thing to talk about. So what is coming as we are uncovering so much is being uncovered, and we feel like we are uncovering it because we are the explorer, right? It's beautiful, it's fun. But what it is that it truly is the hidden intention that is just agitating us until we look at it, until we hear it, until we take it into our hands and reconcile it into this rose return, this return of the one breath. Everything is to be reconciled. So in moments of fracture, in moments of sacrifice, in moments when innocence was lost and light became fallen timelines actualized and began, when there's a fracture of our creational sun, and the creational sun being the union of all bloodlines, essentially being the Christ light which unifies all bloodlines, right? That is a living light, and it is here. And it is compelling this coming in togetherness. And the body of the living breath, let's say the magnetism, the fire of it is this living light, and the body of it, the expansion of it, is this living sound, which is the rose pattern. So that is the living breath, and it is returning everything into everything that was unseen will be seen and felt. Everything that was seen will be felt accurately for what it is, and everything that was unseen but felt will be seen. There's going to be nothing hidden. There will be nothing hidden. So we have, in duality, we are held together by a cacophony of half-truths. Generally, we are held together by being one side of duality, one side of whatever situation we have walked through. So we are coming now to the place of the ending of duality, the collapsing of duality, by being the presence of the wholeness, the unified whole. So it's not neutrality. It's not the center column of abandonment and absence, which was what was sold to us in the time of false light. False light is white light, and its companion is shadow, and we are held in the middle, just being played with like a little mouse. No, we are not. That was there. So The union is wholeness. It's a wholeness, it's a reconciliation of duality by allowing both sides to vibrationally come together. That is where we are now. That is what collapses duality. So that is what's happening. The action and the intention, the hidden intention, the spoken intention and the hidden intention, all of it, everything is being vibrationally felt. And this is happening because the infinite fractal, the beginning geometry of all things, that tetrahedron crystal, is vibrating with living light and living sound. So it is making itself heard, and it is insisting upon this reconciliation in the most basic level. And when I say source light and source sound, we are speaking, the great father and the great mother. This is creator. This is a directive from creator to restore the angelic human, to restore the one body of angelic humanity. It's a condensing of, when people speak of the rainbow tribe or the angelic humans who are coming together at this time, it is a amplifying of our inherent presence so that we can cohese. And it's in all spectrums. So all the tones of the rainbow are being, people say chakras, but I see these represented in people, in places, in all different ways, in energies, of course, but it's like the chakra system, people say. All of these tones are being brought into being heard from both sides to be the wholeness. So there's a deep call from the obsidian crystal now. There's a deep call from the obsidian crystal. The obsidian crystal is the place of where our shadow is reflected back to us. It is our mirror in the dark. So, the purest, clearest light and the darkest light coming together, collapsing us into this one presence that can be the voice of, be the sight of, be the presence of the full spectrum rainbow without any abandonment or cutting off of any piece of us. So that obsidian crystal is kind of speaking to us now. This is a stone, a tone of blackness, of soil. I associate it deeply with Africa because of the richness in it, and that is making itself heard in all ways, in wholeness. Whatever was hidden in any way will speak and speak, will vibrate and vibrate until it is remembered and brought back into the whole picture. So this is collapsing victimizer, predator, prey, and so often these dynamics are played out between masculine and feminine. So it's collapsing the gap between masculine and feminine, between the two sides of all things until there are no sides. It'll be wholeness, fullness. We don't become neutral, we become full. We become rich, we become full of ourselves. We become rich with the abilities of the angelic creator, with this embodied angelic creator. Embodied is everything at this time. So the sound waves, the persistent sound waves of the one tone, our birthing tone, which is coming from the aquiline sun of Andromeda. This is an insistent tone of correction. It is to bring our crystal, this infinite fractal that I speak to, back to innocence. That is its insistence. In wave after wave through the waters. This is why we see the aquiline waters, because the aquiline waters are our birthing waters. It is the free sea. And we know we are within this now. And it is the insistence of this tone, which is our source tone of creation, coming through the water, affecting our body. Of course, if we are in water, which we are symbiotically of that water, naturally. We are breathing underwater at all times. And we are being infused with the intelligence of and the intention of the aquiline sun, the source sound of our creation. And that is our mother. And the source intention of mother is all shall remain innocent and holy. All shall remain innocent and whole. And we are being returned to this. So, so as this infinite fractal within the crystal, within the body, is being freed by this, and also by source light, which is the sun, which is the beautiful living plasma, the living fire of the sun. As the infinite fractal is being illuminated and agitated, agitated and illuminated within our body, it is speaking to us. So our inherent memory is returning to us. We know that crystal or stone holds memory. And now we will hear the memory of our body. We will hear the beginning of our body, and from that we will hear and feel and walk through everything that was done between the beginning of our immaculate conception and where we are now, and we will be able to collapse that. And we will be able to return to immaculate order. And that's what's happening now. Okay, wanting to speak to something that came through, like I said, from what is shaking up inside of me. What came through, the crystal in the body, the crystals, the synergy, the sacral synergy, that, the beginning of creation, the masculine and feminine principles in this sacred synergy, the crystals of which, the crystals in the ovaries, the crystals in the testes, speaking the words of what has been done, speaking themselves free in this agitation and illumination, speaking themselves free from this bondage of this shadow cocoon that has kept the masculine and feminine principles outside of a state of the crystal spiral, right? It is to be in a crystal spiral. We're talking about the creation of the endless creation, the endless regeneration and recreation of heaven and earth. What has kept those two principles out of forming that crystal spiral? This black cocoon, the shadow cocoon, all the different frequency spell lines that were placed at that fractal, at that level. So I want to talk about it at that level, at the sacral, at the sexual level, because that is, that rises, and that when we clarify that rises and frees up the inaccuracy or the spells within the rest of our bodies, right? So it came to me when I'm looking at places of stone circle, places of the pyramids, places where stone or crystal and space were used to capture the creational energies of the masculine and feminine, to birth a seed of something, right? If we look at the pyramids, for example, the Tetrahedron, the beginning, that three-sided, that Trinity, that sacred Trinity shape was placed within a cube, was captured within a cube. So straight away, the beginning, if I can go across and down, I can't quite do that, across and down, in the beginning, that shape, the womb shape, placed within the bondage of the cube. But that shape is also going the other direction, is also the testes and the phallus. That is also a triangle placed within that imprisonment of the cube. So what I have seen, because we have been told, again, this is part of the spell between masculine and feminine. We have been told that the feminine was held within this bondage of forced breeding, right? And it was the masculine that was... Anyway, let me explain what has come through, speaking from my body. That is all I have, is my intuition. speaking from my body, what was shown to me, what was told to me. Bear in mind that my word is aligned to the Eternal Mother. It is living sound. That is why everything I say must come through the crystal in my body, because I'm not allowed to cast more spells that are already here. So I speak for freedom. That is the point of my voice. What was shown to me, that both the masculine and feminine angelic human were both enslaved and imprisoned within the sexual misery program of forced breeding. And what was shown to me, that actually it was the crystal in the ovaries and the crystal in the testes where the frequency, the false frequencies were directed. And in this direction, that was a seeding. That was a seeding. So with organic, natural, angelic humans and the interference of frequency within the crystal, within the infinite fractal of the ovaries and the testes, this is how the false seeds were created, or the outside intention, the outside intentions, the outside frequencies were placed within the seeds of humanity and placed within the womb of humanity. So it would be these frequencies and intentions were bred into us continually, on and on, right? In order for that to have happened in the beginning, the sacred seal around us was broken. The sacred seal of the crystalline song holding of the Immaculate Womb, the sacred seal of the golden architecture of the sun. Those two seals were broken. When in that sexual misery program, that one particular portal, which is that sacral portal, the womb, that was taken away from the integrity of the full architecture of the source sound body, the full architecture of the source light body, and that was used in isolation, right? This is dimensionality. This is why dimensionality is still a concept with us. And this is why we have been so disembodied and held within concept, because there was such a drastic and traumatic fracture. To be able to utilize our sacral energy, our sacred synergy. This is synergy, when these two energies come together to create a new life. That was hijacked and that was taken outside of the integrity of its own architecture, the integrity that was there to uphold it and to keep it in alignment at all times with source sound, which is our mother, and source light, which is our father. So, okay, but we have the way. We have the way of resurrecting, and it is already done, and it will be known. We have the way of resurrecting the architecture that upholds source sound, mother, within the body, and we have the architecture which upholds source light, father, within the body. And when this divine mother and divine father are in the body, the seeds that will be produced, it will be of Christ consciousness, of course, the angelic human consciousness. So that is where we actually are. So all this discovery, all this irritation or illumination and agitation of the fractal, at the fractal level, at the crystal level, is allowing us to, it's like the truth is rumbling up from the earth, rumbling up from our body, and we're able to pick apart and attune to what has been hidden for so long. Everything is to be attuned to be listened to and trusted. What comes from our body is to be trusted. It's such an important thing at this time, and let's not gaslight ourselves anymore. If we feel something in our heart, it's true. If we feel something in our intuition, it's true. Full stop. There may be things in the way of that, but it's still true nonetheless. Okay, so I think I have... So basically the seeds are frequency. The seeds of Christ consciousness are frequency seeds. And the frequency is the Eternal Mother. That's it. And there is a Trinity holding that in place. Excuse me, across down. There is a Trinity holding that in place. The Trinity, which holds the triad sanctity, which holds the intention, the frequency of the mother into our light body, into the infinite fractal, is of grandmother, mother, and daughter. That is the dynasty of vibration. That is the governing principle of the intention of our creation. Grandmother, mother, and daughter. The wombs of women are of the immaculate lineage of the sound of the eternal mother. And this is why every womb may be brought back to its immaculate state, which means it's regenerating its fullness with the song of the eternal mother, its crystalline state, held with crystalline woven song lines, with a consciousness, a pure intelligence of how to form, how matter is formed. Our womb, of course, is what forms matter. And when we are full of this consciousness within our womb, our whole system attunes to it, and we become aware of how to form matter in alignment with the eternal mother also. I think I've explained that as best I can. Okay. The Trinity, the triad holding pattern, which is the circuitry which holds the vibrational integrity of the infinite fractal. That Holy Trinity is grandmother, mother, and daughter. That is the intention of creation. That is how the intention of creation is held. And there are other trinities as well that are holy and sacrosanct. That is the one that holds the vibration of creation, the intention of creation, the frequency of creation, the frequency of the angelic human into the infinite fractal. Now, that is what's happening. And that is the sound waves that are coming from the aquiline sun. This is an insistent and across the board sound healing. Of course, why wouldn't it be? We have had across the board insistent sound attack. We have lived in frequency warfare that it didn't discriminate. And now we are living through a sound healing of the source mother's sound that does not discriminate, that covers all, that is like locked and loaded on the infinite fractal, on the crystal within the body, to restore the freedom of humanity from the inside out. The freedom of humanity from the inside out. All contract is being removed from the body. It is being shaken from the body. All contract of duality is ending because the hidden intention within that contract is being remembered. And once you remember why you made that contract, what benefit it has been to you, and you allow it to be seen with the light in your eyes, it dissolves. So that is where we are. We're being freed from the inside out by source sound and source light together. So if you think of that sacred synergy, that is the basis of creation, the sacred synergy is coming back to sanctity, essentially. So we have reported so much activity in the ovaries as they are being corrected. There's been a lot of purging from the womb, and a lot of women are feeling this. And when we were within that frequency like attack, so many women have suffered terribly with their wombs, terrible fibroids and issues with the ovaries and with the womb in general. The ovaries and the womb act as they receive the sound, they receive the frequency, and they run it through a circuit within the womb. And when that was false frequency, so much disease and dysfunction was taking place within the womb. So no more. That is being healed. We are being healed from that. And I can only imagine how that works something similar in the masculine principle of the testes and the phallus. There must, I'm sure maybe a man could talk about that, what has been felt within them with that. within that it's a weaponization, a frequency interference. But now what that feels like, now that we are undergoing the freedom from that contract of attack. And that contract, whatever that was, that is what kept the masculine and feminine completely out of tune, completely at odds, especially at that level, at that sacred, intimate level. It was the deepest fracture, the deepest disease was placed there between both and within our own system, because that masculine and feminine sacred synergy is what starts that beautiful, interweaving from the base upwards. It is our rising power. Power rises. The power of creation rises. And it is that those two principles in loving dance, essentially within the body, that is the power of creation. That is the force of creation. So that was taken from us, and false light overlord powers are placed in, and hell realms of terror, terrorization. So we were held between that false light savior and the terror of hell, all within our own light bodies. So generated by our own energy supply, by the weaponization and the division and the artificial discord within our creational energies. That system was upheld. So all of this, we talk about, well, why with these creational energies, why are they so important to be hijacked? Obviously because they create form. Those masculine and feminine principles together create form. Light and sound creates form. So if you are able to be in possession of one of those or both of those energies, you can be the intention of that form, because the very first part of form is intention. So what I'm saying now is that the womb, the creational womb, has been sealed. We may say the word void, but it is inaccurate. The word is womb. We are within a contained universe, contained by this pattern, contained by the crystal, the ever-expanding crystal breath, the crystal spiraling breath of the rose, and light with this, of course. That is what we are held within. So we are held within a pattern. There is nothing outside of love within the universe. And we have been sent down avenues of abandonment in search of freedom. We have been sent down avenues of resisting pattern in search of freedom, which made perfect sense, of course, to resist the false patterns being imposed and impaled upon the light body, which were specifically designed to trap light, to bring light into that downward spiral of decay and degeneration and depreciation, when our light bodies are to be a self-sealed unit, beautiful torus field, continually regenerating with source sound running through the crystal of our body and source light running through the blood of our body and the vortex of the heart. Everything is a vortex. The receptivity in the spiral coming in this vortexing pattern, the vortex, the crystalline spiral, is of love. It's the organic way that energies are to come into us, coming in through that spiral on the top of the head, through the vortex of the heart. And then that is how the energies move on the frequency of love in a weaving way, a cohesing way. So that sharpness that we have been pummeled with, those false frequencies that some people can't hear and some people could, were a sharpness. And they didn't come in on the balanced breath, they came in on the contract between breath. They created the void between breath, between the inhale and the exhale, between the feminine and the masculine. Those false frequencies created that division of breath. Breath is a consistent balancing of love and truth, sound and light. It's beautiful. Infinity. That's what breath is. It's our consciousness. And those artificial frequencies, not of us, not of our intent, not of the mother's intent, just created that division in the core, created that core weakness within us, created that dimensionality within us, and sent us into parasitic ways of clasping onto each other, right? Grasping, catching each other in contract to hold ourselves together. So it's all leaving, because the balancing breath of the Creator is here. It is here. And obviously, the rose right in the center of it. The breath of the Creator, love and truth, runs on the frequency of freedom, infinite expansion, which is the crystal spiral, which comes from the pattern of the rose. So what is happening? Okay, I said so much. Let me see. Okay, the ovaries create the space, this sound circuitry, the sound space. The testes and the phallus used to infuse the light intention. So, but essentially, false sound, false light, false geometry, right? All imposed upon the human light body, run off of the gorgeous love that we are. We are love. And anything seated within us will be love to life. So, yeah. So that is how those seeds within the subconscious, within our consciousness, within our subconsciousness, were placed there. It was frequency seeds. It's frequency seeding. Running through the beautiful crystal in the ovaries, the crystal in the testes, the crystal everywhere. But I want to focus on them, because I want to talk about that sacred synergy at the beginning of all things, of the masculine and feminine principles. So, with that being said, the womb has been contained. The womb, there is a core intention. There is one core intention of the womb, and it comes from this aquiline sun. And I'm standing here on earth as the promise of this. It is the core tone, and therefore the containment of the womb. It is a very, very clear intention. All shall remain innocent and whole. In order for that intention to be enacted, all are returning to innocence and wholeness. So that is where we are. And there will be no other frequency intentions placed upon the angelic human light body. There will not. Our sacred sealed circuitry is being restored now. It is this, literally, I'm seeing the full body covered in roses. I'm seeing crystal spirals coming from my teeth. I'm seeing crystal spirals and roses and spiraling roses. This is the sound body. This is the sound body that is the shield of insisted resonance that says that only what is love may come into me. Only what is love may harmonize with my body, with my sound body. That is what that is. And the light seal, so that is the sound seal. The light seal is coming from the fire plasma of the heart, extending into this golden tree structure. And this is the architecture that is running through all that there is, through the body and all that there is within the body, and through the universe and all that there is within the universe. This what I speak of, those two, that whole system is the architecture of resurrection. People say ascension, right? It's the architecture of resurrection. Whereas we're not going anywhere, we're just standing up. We're not going anywhere, we are standing up in our condensed, giant, whole, eternal self on this earth. It is the architecture of resurrection. Okay, wanting to, that's beautiful. We are being called in magnetically. I've said this before, I'll say it again. We're being called in magnetically, in the spiraling way, in the frequency of love. We are not going to be gathering frequencies but love into our sound body anymore. We are releasing them at the insistence of the infinite fractal. We're certainly not going to be gathering them more. So there is a shielding there. Place a rose on your heart, place a rose on your head if you feel, or on your front door, and your back door if you want, like I do, if you feel there is like lost frequencies looking to land, looking for space to germinate. But this will all take care of itself. All of the fallen frequencies that will need to be cohesed into the rose pattern will be cohesed when they have chosen resignation. When they have chosen resignation instead of domination. When they have chosen to surrender all fallen frequencies that have made up the human body. Because we are a mixture. We are a mixture. A beautiful mixture, right? We're lovely, but it's a bit messy, but that's okay. But all of those frequencies can cohese within the rose. When they have surrendered to the truth of love, then they can come right in there and come into the weave, no problem. But until then, they will continue to hammer themselves in whatever way, creating spell lines, timelines of their own choosing, of their fallen intent within people, between people, whatever way that looks. And when it is chosen, when the destiny timeline is chosen, we come into the rose. The destiny timeline begins from the rose. It begins from the crystalline spiral. That is our destiny timeline. Okay. And all of us can fit into that. This is the point. This is a descension, a spiraling downward. The fullness of our celestial breath is returning to us. Our celestial breath being our celestial consciousness. The fullness of our celestial consciousness returning inward into the body. We are wholly occupying our body. We are wholly occupying our body. So there is no room for anything but us. And when we are there, in all that we are, and this might feel condensed and it might feel dense and heavy, but all that we are, it can be run through, and it will, because this is a natural frequency, and this is here, obviously, from source sound, from the mother, will be run through this pattern of the rose, and it will find its way in. And it will be okay. It will be okay. And there is fire in the rose as well. There is flame in the rose. This is a unified directive of source sound and source light. So it's beautiful. That's why it's working so quickly, because it's a unified intention. That's why it's working so quickly. Okay. There would be no false balance. We are in the free sea. Everything finds its balance in the free sea. There, the free sea is the free womb. The womb will never be enslaved again. I promise you that. There we are all finding true balance, true compassion, through the feeling of all sides, until there are no sides, until we are whole again, right? There will be no false balance. There will be no dominion. There will be no domination. There will be no power over. All of the victimizer programs just dissolving from the body. It's beautiful. All division dissolving from the body. Union within the body. And there is a condensing and a coming together of the rainbow tribe. We can feel this. We can feel each other clearer. And we are coming together. Rainbow tribe is the angelic human. It is that which has the crystal heart, who has the crystal returned to purity and wholeness and innocence through the source light and source sound. Or we're in this process at least, right? And we can hear the tones, we can hear the vibrations. And we are choosing to be of living word and living light. We are choosing to be of living word, which is the streaming word of our intuition. We are choosing to be of living light, which is the fire in the heart, the radiance, the passion in the blood. That is the angelic human energy system. And that system is sealed. It is to be sealed. We are no longer to be harvested. The factory farm is closed. The factory farm is closed. We are held in seal by the crystalline weave of the rose, by the sound barrier of the rose, which insists you may enter if you can bring yourself into love. And like I said, fallen frequencies may enter when they have chosen to resign their dominion over love and when they have accepted and surrendered to the truth of love. So, and the beautiful, that golden plasma firing through its full architecture, which looks like a golden tree all around, covering all that there is. It's like a golden halo, sun disk, people would say. I think I've always saw it as a golden halo. It's that radiant light that comes with you at birth. If you see a baby, they're just beaming with gold. It is this natural protection of the inner sun, right? So, okay, this is my offering, and to, as always, offer clarification from my living word as much as it makes sense or whatever. If it's felt in the body, it's true. If it's not, it's not. That's all. That's the only parameters we have to worry about now. If it is felt, because our crystal, like I said, our crystal. I say our hearts. It is our heart, but it's our crystal. Like this message came to me last night from my ovaries. I wasn't expecting that, right? So the crystal in the body and my teeth were talking to me too, right? And I've also been told that the teeth and the bones, all the crystal will regenerate. We will be able to regenerate teeth and bones. Like, isn't that strange how we weren't before? That teeth, it was always told, or we were told, you can never regenerate your teeth. That just doesn't make sense. So that is not actually true. Our teeth and our bones will be in a state of regeneration now from this, because it is the crystal in the body that was hijacked and attacked with frequency. And that false light paradigm of false light and hell, and us in the middle being shaken and terrorized and offered salvation. If we just wanted to sell a piece of ourselves or sell someone else down the river, we could be saved. And that the fracturing that caused within humanity is coming to an end, because our bodies are being brought to the condition that we will be singing with the one song. Our bodies will be singing with the one song, and it will be undeniable, because it will cohere naturally. Because if we are all of the one song, naturally we move in the one way. We are of symphony. Then we will just be crystals, instruments of symphony. The symphony is already written. The path is already formed. The way is already there. There is a state of grace, and everyone has a position within grace. There is free will to an extent within that. Actually, I revoke that, because I don't know that to be true. What I say is that there is the tools of perception of the free human is the heart's impulse and the intuition. The heart's impulse is your father's voice telling you it is time to do something. And the body's intuition is your mother's voice singing to you of discernment and of flow and redirection and of protecting, choosing which way your body should be and where you should place yourself and what you should say at every moment. It's the sensitive perception of the symphony that you are part of, so that you may sing your place within it. Okay, that is where we are. Okay, I've recorded this today. I'm going to put this up, and please, if this feels good to you, feel free to share. So much love to everyone, and so much gratitude to everyone for the places we are choosing within the symphony of grace, and all that we are choosing to look at and to feel. We are being asked to look at and feel everything within us. Everything that has been hidden, every intention that has been forgotten, every piece of light that has been trapped. We are being asked to look at and feel everything. And we are doing it. So much love to everyone. Blessings.